What's going on, guys, and welcome into Afterthoughts. He's butt naked on some of these shots.
They're starting to storm, Ryan.
The first problem is your best player of the season is Tyrese Maxey.
For my rankings, I kind of went off vibes a little bit.
I said they'd make it. I'm saying they're going to make it by a half game.
Marion Hampton is a dog. He's insane.
Sure, man.
Nice guy.
If you say so.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Afterthoughts. Ryan Lombardi alongside Nathan Donnelly and my good friend Jack Haskell, and it is the March Madness edition of Afterthoughts. I'm really looking forward to it. Also joined by our Director of Madness, James Derrick. James is going to be putting up our bracket for us all night long. But no, boys, looking forward to it. It is Madness. The tournament starts tomorrow at 12:15. How we feeling?
Favorite month of the year, Ryan. Favorite part of the week. I've been looking forward to this for a while. I'm ready to make some controversial picks, talk some college basketball, and find out who's going to be the NCAA national champion this year.
So the three of us sat down. We made this bracket. We sat in a room for over 3 hours debating on this bracket. This is just the three of our picks. We went back and forth a lot. It was a long night.
We did. I took a sip of my soda. We debated High Point or Purdue. I took a bite of my taco. We debated New Mexico or Marquette. So this is going to be a great show. You will not want to miss this one.
All right, let's just dive into it right here. The first game we're going to talk about, the first game at the top of your bracket, it is the South bracket, Auburn versus Alabama State. I mean,
this really is just no doubt to me and probably to America as well. Alabama State won on a really, really close game last night. Auburn is the 1-1 for a reason.
With all due respect to Alabama State, this is Hydrogen Bomb versus Coughing Baby.
Yeah.
It's just not even going to be close. Everybody in their right mind has Auburn over Alabama State. If you don't have them, you're trying too hard to be different. Now we get to one, Creighton and Louisville.
This actually, I kind of will be a good one. The 8-9 seeds have tended to be 50-50 historically. I just like the dominance of Creighton inside with Ryan Kalbrenner to take down Louisville here.
Yeah, I think Creighton's defense is really going to be something good for them. Also, Stephen Ashworth on offense, one of the top three-point shooters in the country. He just gets going. He's electric. They went to the Sweet 16 last year. I really like Creighton.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I love what Coach Kelsey has done for this Louisville program this year, I think Creighton's just going to be too much.
All right, you heard it here. James, we are taking Creighton over Louisville. Love it. All right, moving on. Michigan and UC San Diego. This is a tough one. This is a 12 and 5 seed. Michigan just won the Big Ten.
Yes.
UC San Diego won their conference.
This is the tough one. This is, I would say, probably the most popular mainstream upset pick. UC San Diego is on an absolute tear, but so is Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan coming off the conference championship win, but UC San Diego, you don't win in 30 games by accident. And it's going to be really, really hard to determine. I mean, UC San Diego is 53rd in the nation in three-point percentage. How do you compete with that?
That's pretty good.
No, it's very good, but Michigan also had the 7th hardest schedule in the country, and they took care of business. I really do like Michigan here.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I want to pick UC San Diego, not every Cinderella can happen.
James, give us Michigan over UCSD. All right, moving on. Texas A&M and Yale, the 4 and 13. This was one we debated.
This is, and this might be arguably the second most mainstream popular kind of upset. I just love the size and offensive rebounding prowess of the Aggies here. That's the thing that I'm looking at when they face Yale.
Yeah, and I mean, I wanted to pick Yale. I really did. I mean, we saw what they did last year, but I had to remind myself what Yale was doing last year was thanks to Danny Wolf. And Danny Wolf, now on the aforementioned Michigan Wolverines, I don't know that Yale is going to be able to beat this really good Texas A&M team.
Yeah, I mean, Yale had a very good season in the Ivy League, but when it matters most, I feel like this one's a little bit of a trap game. But, James, we're taking Texas A&M. Nice.
Go Aggies.
I just love having James here. James, the director of Madness.
It's such good vibes.
It's
really
great vibes. He's just here.
He's awesome.
Yeah, James, don't go anywhere, all right? We
Please
need you
don't.
right here all night.
Yeah, all night, dude. Stay
all right.
here.
Ole Miss, and now playing the play-in team, UNC Tar Heels.
Before we begin, in no way should the UNC Tar Heels have even touched this tournament. It is a national disgrace that the Tar Heels are in this tournament. The fact that UNC's AD was even allowed to be anywhere near this decision is preposterous. It is horrible. West Virginia was snubbed. They were snubbed. And two things can be true. UNC swept the floor with SDSU last night. But they still don't deserve to be in this tournament.
I totally agree. Two things can be true. UNC could make a run in this tournament, but they don't deserve to be here. And that is both sides are true. They did not take care of business when it mattered most. And that's why I'm just so disgusted that UNC is in this
Yeah,
tournament.
you just witnessed 4 days of rage from Jack Haskell.
And if
all
I can
pent
point
up.
something out, everybody last night was like, oh, San Diego State isn't a good basketball team. UNC is a good basketball team. UNC was 8-0 in Quad 2, and San Diego State is a Quad 2 team. They should beat them.
What was UNC in Quad 1?
1 and 12.
Okay.
1 and 12. Unreal.
So,
Unreal.
with that
And
being
I'm not
said,
doubting their talent. I am not doubting
No.
UNC's talent. I think they're a very talented team. But I think Ole Miss might be more talented. And that's why we're taking Ole Miss over the UNC Tar Heels.
James, give it to us. There we go.
Nice.
I apologize to any UNC fans I may have offended with my rant.
A lot of them, but whatever.
And we got a little bit of a weird one. Iowa State, Lipscomb.
Yeah, for right now, I've said before on this show, I think it was on this show, I don't like Iowa State. I like them here, even though Keyshawn Gilbert is injured. Iowa State's defensive prowess is just insane. They lock down anybody.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing the 14 seed of Lipscomb,
Yes.
and obviously started to be in this tournament, but Iowa State definitely going to struggle without Gilbert. I mean, he is one of their top players this year. What do you got on this game?
Yeah, Iowa State, I mean, even last year, such a good defensive team. I just think, as a whole, they've always been a really good, gritty, scrappy defensive team. And Keyshawn Gilbert is going to play a factor, but not right now.
Not right now. Missing the offense of Keyshawn Gilbert will hurt them, just not really this game. It will hurt them soon, but I don't think it will this time around.
Definitely not. Let's take the 3 over the 14. Iowa State moving on.
Shout out Jaron Holmes,
right.
former St. Bonaventure Bonnie.
Shout out number 1.
Now kind of a better matchup. Marquette, New Mexico, the 7-10. Going to be a good one. Marquette has the 32nd best offense in the country. What are you seeing from these guys?
A lot of these guys that are filling out your brackets, you might like the Lobos. This is a popular 10 over 7 pick, but the Lobos rank 79th in offensive rating. I just don't think they'll be able to keep up with Marquette.
Yeah, I mean, I really like Marquette. They've had a couple of bad losses, avoidable losses, but this Marquette team is legit. I mean, led by Cam Jones. He's arguably going to be a front runner for National Player of the Year. I think you can't count out Marquette in this game.
No, I really like Cam Jones, and that's why we are taking Marquette over New Mexico.
Golden Eagles.
All right, and then our 15-2, we got Michigan State and Bryant University.
Ryan, if you don't mind, I'd like to take the lead on this one.
Okay.
Let me ask you two gentlemen something.
Yeah.
Do you know who plays basketball at Bryant University?
I know. I mean, Doug Eddert used to play there.
Doug Eddert used to play there.
Earl Timberlake.
Earl Timberlake does play at Bryant.
Okay.
I mean, St. Bonaventure legend Charles Pride used to play at Bryant.
Charles Pride,
Yeah.
my good friend, used to play
he
at
did,
Bryant
yeah.
University.
Yeah.
Is there somebody you haven't?
Yeah,
But
that's all
that's
I
not
know.
who I'm referring to.
Okay.
I don't know anybody else.
Another St. Bonaventure legend, per se, currently plays at Bryant University. That would be one Barry Evans.
Okay.
So I have followed Bryant this entire season. When they played us, when they didn't play us, their conference championship win. And you know what?
Do you know where he's going with this?
Call me crazy, but give me Barry Evans and the Bryant Bulldogs.
What?
Jack.
How do you choose that?
Jack,
what? What?
that's not
Yeah,
on script.
I feel the same way, Jack. Like,
Jack.
what are you doing? Okay, no, wait, wait.
James,
no,
James, stay,
Wait,
James.
He can
okay.
walk out all he wants. He knows the truth. Bryant University is going to shock the world.
No.
Barry
No.
Evans
We
actually
will
pick
be in Tom
Bryant?
Izzo's
No.
nightmares.
No.
Wait, do we actually pick
No.
Bryant?
No, we took Michigan State. Michigan State over Bryant.
Wait,
Please fix
wait,
the
no, yeah,
bracket.
can we-
Fix the bracket, please.
Wait, somebody.
Fix the bracket.
Okay, yeah, okay, good.
Thank
okay.
you. Oh my goodness. All right, we're gonna quiet you down for a little bit.
We should not have given you the password.
No.
This is preposterous.
No.
Okay.
All right. Moving.
Okay.
We're gonna move on. We're
Yeah.
gonna keep moving. We're gonna go over to the west side. Can you?
Okay.
Can you quiet? Can you quiet?
You can discredit me all you want.
I'm
done.
going
We're
to.
done. We're done. All right. Number 1 seeded Florida
Yeah.
in the West, taking on Norfolk State. Don't sweat it. We're going with Florida. They're one of the best teams in college. They're maybe the most sound team in college right now.
Yeah, you've been saying it all the time. We put together this bracket. They're one of the most put together teams in the nation. They swept the floor with the SEC on their way to the championship. I'm going to do all the talking. I'm not going to let Jack talk. We're going to move on to the next one.
Yeah, moving on to the next one. Don't sweat that one.
Yeah, no, there's no reason
my
to.
UConn Huskies taking on Oklahoma in the first round.
Yeah, UConn has the experience here. Caravan, Hassan Diarra, they've all been there before. And your boy,
Dan Hurley.
Dan Hurley.
And also something to know, I mean, UConn is looking to become the first team to three-peat in the NCAA
Yeah.
tournament since 1969. So
That's impressive.
Definitely a stat throughout
Jack,
there.
would you like to say something?
Jack, you can talk.
If I may speak, as much as I would love to see Jeremiah Fears go on a little run in March Madness, you can't count out the UConn Huskies.
that's what we can get behind.
they're
we
the
can get behind
two-time
that.
defending champions for a reason, back to back.
Okay, that works.
No matter what, Dan Hurley's going to make noise in this tournament.
Yeah, for sure.
I think UConn kind of gets shafted a little bit with their
They did,
placement
yeah.
of the bracket. I mean, I think they're a more deserving team than an 8 seed. Some of these 8 seeds, I think, are kind of got robbed a little bit. I mean, if you look at Louisville you
is
look
a
at a
big
team
one.
like UConn, I
Yeah.
think they're higher than an 8 seed, especially if you look at their resume. But UConn is moving on over Oklahoma. All right, Colorado State, Memphis. This is a big upset watch. A lot of people have Colorado State moving on past Memphis.
This is a great 12-5 matchup. Colorado State is a better Ken Pom team. They have a better rating across the board. I like Colorado State here over Memphis. Memphis, I don't think just has the defensive ability. They can score the ball, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, credit to PJ Haggerty, what he's done this season, Coach Penny Hardaway, but, I mean, Colorado State, I think they're just going to overwhelm Memphis too much. And a lot have argued that Memphis didn't even deserve this 5 seed and that they were only slotted into the 5 seed because they won their conference tournament.
Yeah, Colorado State, a 12 seed, favored by 3.5 in this one. We're going to take Colorado State moving on to the next round. All right, my boy Kevin Willard at Maryland taking on GCU. Jack, what are you seeing from this?
Yeah, I mean, Maryland, they've been really good in a competitive Big Ten conference this year. I mean, led by the star freshman Derek Queen. He's going to be on draft boards everywhere after this tournament. I already know. He's already on the draft boards, but this tournament's just going to shoot his stock up. And I mean, Grand Canyon, really nice little Cinderella run last year, led by Ty and Grant Foster. But he's taken a little bit of a dip in offensive production this season. And Grand Canyon has 0 wins against top 25 teams.
Yeah, they just don't have that strong of a resume to build for themselves. And honestly, the Lopes can run, but I don't see a path in the game. I don't see a strategy that they can overwhelm Maryland with to where they take advantage and win the game.
All right, I agree. Austin, we're taking Maryland over GCU. And then we got Drake over Missouri. This is another one that people are looking at. They're like, hey, upset watch. Jack, I know your boys are at Drake. I'll hand this one to you.
Bennett Sturtz is the name that all of you need to know. He is going to be the next March Madness legend.
Mm-hmm.
This guy coming from Division II Northwest Missouri State.
Who else came from Division II Northwest Missouri State?
Head coach Ben McCollum at the helm. These guys are
What do you say about D2 Hoopers?
Division II hoops are legit. But, I mean, Ben McCollum and Bennett Sturtz, along with the other transfers from Northwest Missouri State, I'm blanking on the names right now, unfortunately, but
Jack Haskell doesn't know ball.
they have been
Everybody
phenomenal.
heard it here, right?
They have been phenomenal for this Drake program. It's been a complete 180 since the shift from Darian and Tucker DeVries, and I really have Drake over Mizzo in the upset.
Yeah, I like it. Give us Drake over Missouri. Moving
good for
on
me. Yeah.
to the round of 32.
That works for me.
All right, Texas Tech, UNC Wilmington. I have a bone to pick with UNC Wilmington. They eliminated my guys at the University of Delaware last week.
Blue Hens.
Obviously, this is kind of it's a hard matchup for them. I mean, they're a 14 seed taking on Texas Tech, who's a 3 seed. It's not going to be easy.
It won't, dude. Texas Tech is a bunch of dogs. I personally like them a lot. They have the Big 12 Player of the Year in JT Toppin. They're battle tested. They really are.
Yeah, I mean, JT Toppin, as you mentioned, recently just named an AP All-American.
Yeah.
He's gonna take
Double
this Texas
machine.
Tech team far.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Give us Texas Tech over UNC Wilmington. Also, something to note, UNC Wilmington has, some of these teams from the smaller conferences have not played since last week.
No, it's been a while.
That is a strong gap.
It's been
That's
a
well
while.
over a week
Yeah.
not playing competitive basketball.
But then to play devil's advocate, you have some of these teams that have been playing nothing but basketball for the last week.
Yeah.
Also true. All right, getting in. This is one of my favorite
It is.
build of 4 teams. I mean, the coaching talent ability is just so powerful.
Off the charts.
Starting out with
the
Kansas
charts.
and Arkansas. What are we seeing there, boys?
Bill Self versus John Calipari is going to feed families. And Coach Calipari, thankfully, shouldn't have much to worry about with the Oakland Golden Bears being eliminated. But, I mean...
And the St. Peter's Peacocks not being in contention.
That as well.
Also, it's been noted that Calipari only loses to lower seeds.
Correct. Yes.
In even number of years. Also, they're not a lower seed this year, so they should be fine.
They should be okay.
Calipari should be okay.
Yes, and Kansas has just been, they've started out the year ranked very highly, just fell super fast, super hard. Hunter Dickinson is still a great basketball player. They have a ton of veteran guards, but I just don't see it for Kansas this year.
Yeah, Kansas really struggled this year. I mean, they started, at one point, were ranked number 1 in the nation.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's correct.
Just what a fall off for them. Because it's not an even number year and the year is 2025, give us Arkansas over Kansas.
I like Austin in this role too. He's
Yeah,
doing well.
Austin, you're doing a great job.
You're doing a great job.
Yeah.
I miss-
Too bad James left us.
I miss James.
Yeah,
wonder
well,
where he went.
it's your fault. He left. So
It's your fault.
And then rounding it out, the St. John's Red Storm going against Omaha.
How do you feel about St. John's, Nathan?
Anybody who's watched the show previously knows how I feel about St. John's. Although I will say this, I don't think Omaha has a chance. St. John's defensively is just too great. That goes without saying.
I think St. John's offense goes very under the radar, and I want to talk. We'll dig into that later. But I think St. John's takes care of his business. They're 2 seed for a reason. Give us Rick Pitino in the St. John's Red Storm. All right, moving on to the right side of the bracket. We're moving on to the East region, and we got Duke taking on the winner of American and the Mount.
Yeah, that game currently happening. Mount St. Mary's leads 38-34 with 3 minutes 27 seconds left in the first half. I'm going to go out on a limb, however, and say, regardless of which team wins this game,
It doesn't matter.
It won't
Duke's
matter.
going to have
It
their
doesn't matter. I'm sorry.
Duke is going to
gonna
go
have their
far.
March moment.
Yeah.
With or without Cooper Flag, we saw what they're capable of. I mean, they took care of business in the ACC tournament. Duke's moving on, and there's no doubt about that. No? Awesome.
Give it to us? Okay,
Yeah.
there we go.
Yeah, thank you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Took a minute.
I want James back.
Okay, give him one mistake. Give him a chance.
Yeah. Relax. Hey,
No, you're good.
relax.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah. Well,
No stress.
all right, another toss-up game, 8-9 seed. Mississippi State taking on Baylor.
Another thing that I've said before on this show, personally, I like Baylor as a team. I think they're very talented. I went through my whole spiel, Jeremy Roach, VJ Edgecombe. I did not mention Norchad Omir, an absolute dog down low. That is my fault. If you're watching, I'm sorry. I just think they have the experience.
I'm sure he's watching this
He is
right
watching.
now
Yeah,
instead of
yeah, he
preparing
definitely
for the
is.
basketball
Shout
game.
out Norchad.
No, he definitely isn't preparing. It's just locked in on Afterthoughts.
Yeah, but I mean, to Nathan's point, I mean, Baylor is a team that you should not sleep on. I mean, led by Jeremy Roach, the transfer from Duke, I think he's going to want to win this game to then
See his
have
team.
that revenge game against Duke.
Yeah, I agree. Give us Baylor over Mississippi State.
Yes.
It just
Austin
means
likes it.
Yeah,
just
there we go.
means
Austin's
more
there.
to some of these players in
into it.
March.
All right, then we got the number 5 seed Oregon taking on Liberty, and I think don't sweat this one. I know sometimes 5, 12 seeds, we see, we see them get weird, and I just don't see it this one.
Yeah, I mean, Oregon with Nate Biddle have just been really good this season, and I don't think you have to sweat them playing Liberty University.
No, I don't think Liberty's that good of a basketball team.
Personally, to me, I feel like this seeding for Liberty is kind of based on their previous year's success. Like their past teams, they were run and gun, they were shoot the three. They were great like in the past years. They just don't. I like Oregon.
Yeah. Give
that
us
simple.
the Mighty Ducks over Liberty.
Another one Austin likes too.
Yeah,
we like
yeah.
it.
All right, and then we got Arizona taking on the Zips of Akron. Jack, you're big on Akron. I'm going to send this over to you, and I'm probably going to disagree with every single word you say.
You know, I want to say I was big on Akron. I mean, St. Bonaventure played Akron last season in the Hall of Fame Classic.
Irrelevant.
We were able to get
Thank
that
you.
win. They had Enrique Freeman last year, who is now on the Indiana Pacers. And I mean, don't get me wrong, this team has found their identity this year. They won the MAC conference, but I don't know that they're good enough to beat Arizona. Don't get me wrong, I am very much on the hype train of Arizona being frauds. I mean,
Yeah.
Caleb Love, he's been in
But
college
he's still Caleb
way
Love.
too long.
But he is still
he's
Caleb
taken
Love.
an offensive dip, but he is still Caleb Love, to your point.
He's going to get it done in March. I have no doubt. He still averaged 16 points per game. Yeah, that was the meeting when Jack went on a little tear about, Arizona's not good, Caleb Love having a down year. I go, he's still averaging 16 a game,
Still
Jack.
averaging 16, and we know
What he is
he's
capable of.
He's the man in March. We
Yeah.
saw it. We saw it. We've already seen it
Yeah.
throughout his career.
I mean, don't even worry about Arizona taking care of business over Akron.
Give it to us, Austin. There we
Thank
go.
you. This one gets a little interesting. Another 6-11. We already have one of these upsets happening with the 6 or the 11. Give us VCU over BYU.
Yeah, I mean, I think the three of us at this desk know a lot more about VCU than a majority of
That's a
bracket
fair point.
insiders. And this VCU team, even when they're beating our St. Bonaventure Bonnies, they're still a very fun team to watch. I mean, Max Shoga and Joe Bamasiel, that 1-2 punch of just pure scoring, outside shooting. Luke Bamboué, the freshman down low in the paint, just swatting everything he can find. Philip Russell, great floor general for the Rams. And this BYU team, I don't think they're going to be able to shut down every single player on the floor for VCU, because you can shut down Max Shoga, but this team is just so well-rounded that that's not even going to matter.
Yeah, I think something also to note is just how good Max Shulga really is. I mean, this was a player that was getting recruited to play in the Big East just last season. Obviously, money talks, and he ended up staying with VCU. But Max Shulga had 2 points against St. Bonaventure in the quarterfinals. If you told me Max Shulga has 2 points, I would have said, oh yeah, Bonnie's win by 20.
But what did he do?
He had 11 assists, 0 turnovers in that game. Huge reason why VCU went on to win the championship. And I mean, it's a testament to how good of a player he really is.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. We have it in the notes here. I think BYU is going to win, but I am appeasing the other two. BYU is hot, hot, hot. Austin gets it. He likes it. Yeah. I think BYU is also on an absolute tear. That's all I have to say. Austin, what are we doing?
But Nate, you're one man. Jack and
I know,
I
it's two,
outnumber
yeah.
you. Give us VCU over BYU.
And that's acceptable. That's written.
Yeah.
It's what you take.
Majority rules.
Yeah. That's what happens.
Then we got the 14-3 matchup. Montana taking on Wisconsin. Wisconsin just lost in the Big Ten championship.
Yeah, I mean,
They did. They have John Tanji, who's an absolute stud. And my Montana Grizzlies, unfortunately, James and Austin know about my Montana Grizzlies. we stayed up late nights watching them. They're good. Like, the Montana Grizzlies are good. Wisconsin has the resume. They have the players. I really don't see a way the Grizzlies win here, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't see a 14-3 upset happening like we had last year. We are taking the Badgers. Moving on to the round of 32.
John Tanji, just phenomenal. Arguably the best transfer in the offseason.
Yeah.
You can argue that. All right, then we got Vanderbilt and St. Mary's, the 10-7 matchup. Vanderbilt what a year, bounce back year they had. They were down in the dumps, one of the worst teams in college basketball last year. Come back, they can earn themselves a 10 seed in this year's tournament.
It's extremely hard to play basketball in the SEC conference.
Very hard.
Right.
The hardest ever, by the way.
And there's a reason why a record-setting 14 teams from the SEC have received a bid to March Madness. And Vanderbilt, granted, one of the lower teams in the SEC, but I think they could make some noise in March Madness. However, I like St. Mary's. I like St. Mary's a lot. I mean, seeing what they were able to do this season after losing a bulk of their production from last year, they've been phenomenal.
Yeah, I think Vanderbilt, when you look at the quadrant wins, I think St. Mary's, even their quad one losses, never more than like 5-6 points. And that's something I really like about them. So I'm with you on St. Mary's.
I'm totally for St. Mary's here too. I will say, and we will talk about this later, St. Mary's is in the bottom 10 in pace in the nation. They're one of the slowest teams to watch play basketball, which, as we all know, I don't like. But it's fine. Yeah, St. Mary's is a great team.
All right, so give us St. Mary's over Vanderbilt. And then we got a really easy decision here. Alabama.
Speaking of pace of play.
Alabama, Robert Morris. Alabama, one of the top scoring teams in the country. I mean, they might have the best offense
Top scoring
in the country.
Yep.
They're just so unbelievable.
In the words of one Pat McAfee, give me Alabama.
Give me Alabama. Let's see it.
It was Alabama.
There
Nice.
we go. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. All right, moving on to the Midwest. Houston taking on the number 16 seeded SIUE.
You know, I've seen a few brackets recently taking SIUE over Houston.
So this was a conversation we were having. We were like, oh, Houston's the most fraudulent number 1 seed. And then we took a deeper look at Houston and realized where they led and where they ranked in some of the top categories in like offensive production, defensive efficiency.
That quickly changed my opinion.
It quickly changed my opinion. I think coming out of the Big 12, obviously they did really well in the Big 12 this
Yes.
year. One of the top teams. I think it was easy to say like, oh yeah, SEC runs college basketball, and also Duke is always just Duke.
Duke is always
But
Duke.
Houston is a very sneaky 1 seed.
They're an amazing three-point shooting team.
Yes.
Like, they're one of the best in the country. Combine that with one of the best defensive teams in the country. Why are you picking, what is it? SIUE? Why are you,
Have you ever heard of them before the show?
Is that a panther? I don't understand.
Jaguar, Panther,
Yeah.
something along those lines.
I don't know. Do we need to, is there anything else?
No, I mean,
Okay.
it's Houston, and
Yeah.
I think Houston could go far in this tournament.
Yeah, Austin?
Yeah.
Go Cougs.
However, with that being said,
What?
that's probably the most likely 16 seed to upset a 1 seed.
No.
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 I would say at
No.
the very least.
Gonzaga
0 for 2
taking
today.
on Georgia, another toss-up, 8-9 seed. We love these 8-9 seed games. Usually the most entertaining sometimes. It's just two very competitive basketball teams, but I'm feeling Gonzaga, man. They're
Yeah.
in it every single year. They have tremendous success there. I just don't see Georgia getting it done.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Gonzaga has been phenomenal with Andrew Nembhard, leading the nation in assists. He might be the newest March Madness legend.
Yeah, Gonzaga did a little deep dive in their Ken Pom stats. It's not really a deep dive; it's a simple search. They're underseeded. Like they should not be an 8 seed. I'm also with the Zags here.
Yeah. Give us Zags over the Bulldogs. And then moving on, we got Clemson, McNeese. Should we just?
It's a bad time for him. It's a bad time for him to lose his mic.
Yeah, that's a great time. Yeah,
Yeah,
keep
it
your
actually-
mic off.
actually, I stand corrected.
We're
They-
gonna talk
really
about
good
this one.
timing.
We're not gonna let
This
Jack
was
speak.
no, because you know what? Because you know what? This you guys planned this. You guys
No, we did not. We did not
You guys
take the
rigged
mic
for
off
my
you,
mic.
bro.
You guys rigged for my mic to
Just-
fall off before this McNeese game came
Let's
on.
mute Jack's
Because
mic.
you know
We're
what?
gonna keep the conversation
Yeah,
here.
You
Clemson,
know
great
what?
team. I think they totally
The McNeese is going to beat Clemson, and I don't care what any of you say. I don't care that Clemson was the 3rd best team in the ACC. McNeese has the Southland Player of the Year in Javon Garcia.
Yes,
12.9
Austin, thank
points,
you.
3 rebounds, an assist, and a steal and a half. The back-to-back Southland Defensive Player of the Year, Christian Schumett, 6.3 rebounds, 1.3 blocks. The Southland Coach of the Year, Will Wade, 1 conference loss, which... congratulations to Will Wade. Welcome to the ACC.
Congratulations,
But
yeah.
regardless, Southland first team and Javon Garcia, Southland second team and Christian Schumett and Quadir Copeland, my guy, shout out Syracuse, Sincere
Every time.
Parker, who has come off the bench in every single game and scored 12 points per game 19 times this season.
Speed it
Double
up.
digits 19 times this season.
Speed it up.
The Aura God and Amir Khan.
Speed it up.
McNeese is beating Clemson.
Okay, are you done?
regardless of what either of you
Can
may
you
have to
stop
say.
talking?
So you like numbers, huh? I have numbers. Clemson 2, McNeese 1. Austin?
Give it to us.
Thank you.
High Point, Purdue. Now this one's fun.
This
Nate,
is
I am turning
fun.
it over to you.
This is awesome.
High Point. One
This
of
is great,
One
yeah.
of I think our favorite teams
Yes.
in this tournament. What do we got on
High
them?
Point's electric. The Panthers are awesome. They're 26th offensively in the nation. Purdue? That's all.
Jack?
I'm protesting.
All right, we'll keep Jack over there. But I think Purdue, we know that they choke every year. Obviously, last year they have Zach Edey. They go to the finals, still lose to UConn. Give me High Point over Purdue. Purdue's leaving in the first round again.
Roll Panthers.
Yeah, goodbye. Goodbye, Purdue. Actually, Purdue might be one of my least favorite
Oh,
teams.
yeah, wait, I think that's wrong. Wait, just stand in front of, yeah, that's
definitely
high,
wrong.
that's High Point. Anyway.
We have High Point.
Yeah, we're gonna, Jack, did you take the
Did
thing
you do
again?
that?
Wait,
Did you do that?
Did you guys let him take the, okay, sorry.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, we're
Jack.
gonna move on.
All right. Now this is weird. 11, 6 seed Texas and Xavier. They are playing tonight. We don't know what's going to happen with that. We talked about it. We think Texas is going to get by Xavier, and then we don't know what will happen from there. What do you got?
I'll come out of my protest to say this.
Okay, good, thank you.
Bennett Sturts is pick number 1 for March Madness legend.
Trey Johnson, baby.
Trey Johnson is
yes,
pick number 2.
Trey Johnson.
I
love
think
it.
the freshman has done phenomenal things this season. He's going to be an absolute treat to watch at the next level, and he's going to guide Texas through this game.
So
I love that.
Give us Texas over Illinois. We're banking on Texas to win tonight.
I'll take Xavier,
and
too.
then take care of business.
Xavier's from the Big East. They have a great resume. They played solid ball. Like I'll take
do
Xavier
it.
as well.
Horns up.
Horns up.
Horns
I
up.
thought
Horns
you
up.
were going to.
Nope. Horns up.
No, up. Horns up.
Horns are up.
Yeah.
Then we got Utah State taking on UCLA. Actually, no, we got Kentucky taking on Troy. The 2 and 15 matchup.
We have written here, duh. So
Yeah.
Kentucky has amazing freshmen.
Yeah.
Otega Owe, Kobe Brea. I just think they'll shoot the lights out of the gym.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. Just give us Kentucky. That's fine.
Go Wildcats.
Yeah. And then
Sid liked that
UCLA, Utah State. That's our next one. Sorry, I skipped ahead one there. That's totally on me. This is gonna be a good one because Utah State 10 seed taking on the number 7 seed of UCLA. Jack, do you want to speak? Do you not want to be in the show?
I'll say this. Utah State is a very sneaky, underrated team in this tournament.
Their efficiency is insane.
Their
They have one of the
efficiency
top
is
offenses.
insane. Ian Martinez is one of the best three-point shooters in the
Yes.
nation, in my opinion. I think they can make some noise.
Yeah.
I really do.
Utah State knows how to score the basketball. They know how to score it efficiently, and like Jack said, I think last week, can't score the basketball and win a game. So give us Utah State over the UCLA
Sorry,
Bruins.
Frankie.
And then we got Tennessee taking on Wofford. Wofford we saw in the tournament once before, and now we got Tennessee Volunteers as a 2 seed this year. What are we seeing from them?
Tennessee has, again, one of the best defenses in the country, an amazing leader in Zakai Ziegler. I also don't see how they fold in this game.
Wofford would be a fun team to have a Cinderella run, but it's the Tennessee Volunteers.
Yeah, Wofford, I believe, was ranked 7th in the SoCon, and they won their conference tournament. The SoCon is awesome. They get great seeds every year, but not the 7th best team out of the SoCon.
So concluding our round of 64, give us the Tennessee Volunteers. Moving on, and that
I'm
will
liking
do it
Austin
for the
in
round of
this spot.
64. All right, more to come here on Afterthoughts. We'll have the round of 32 and Sweet 16. Now take a quick look at some of our Afterthought sports content.
We're going to do a complete redraft. Maybe by the end of it, we'll kind of breeze through these picks. But at least for now, I think I think we can start. We can talk about these picks a little bit and why. Let's start with the Bears at 1. I have them staying, taking Caleb Williams, just doubling down on the pick they took. I think he could develop into something really great if they give him this O-line that they just got in free agency. I think they may as well just stick with Caleb Williams. I know Jaden Daniels played better this year, but what can you say?
Yeah, I to be a little different, I took Jaden Daniels with the number 1 for the
And
Bears.
it's respectable. It is.
I think there's a definite possibility that Dan Quinn was a strong reason for Jaden Daniels' success on the Commanders, and there's a chance he might not see as much success for the Bears.
Right.
And maybe, Caleb Williams could flip into that spot. But I don't know. Jaden Daniels obviously had the better year. I think if you just want to go off of who had the better year, it's
that's
Jaden
what I've been
Daniels.
doing for a lot of the players. I mean, I guess I'm going a little bit on like their ceiling, how good they can be in the future.
Caleb Williams definitely has a very high ceiling. Definitely.
I mean, not that Jaden Daniels doesn't. I just think in the scheme that it is, I think either way, whether Caleb Williams goes to the Commanders or Jaden Daniels goes to the Bears, I think it is what it is. Like it could go either way.
Honestly, there's a strong chance that the owner of both teams, given what they know now, would still double down with what they've got anyways. So.
And then I'll take Jaden Daniels at 2. I mean, it's not much of a redraft yet. So.
Yeah, and same thing. I'm gonna go Caleb Williams at 2 for the Commanders.
We just talked about it. Not much more to say there. I mean, obviously, Jaden Daniels just fits so well in this Commander scheme. It'd be interesting to see what would have happened, but I don't think either team would ever go back on their picks. But I do think the Patriots go a separate way here. I do think, just based on success, I think the Patriots go with Bo Nix here at 3 over Drake May.
I think if you were at like a press conference and you asked, the Patriots if they would change anything about their quarterback situation, they'd be, they'd give the political answer. They'd say, "Oh, we're happy with Drake May, everything."
But, I mean, they should be, but still.
They have Bo Nix posters up in their bedrooms.
Yeah.
Okay, they wish they had picked Bo Nix for sure.
And we're back here on Afterthoughts, round of 32 time. We're going to start in the South. Auburn against Creighton. We debated this a little bit, so I'll leave it to you guys. What do we got?
I mean, as much as Creighton has the potential to make a run, it's the Auburn Tigers. I mean, John I. Broome is my pick, at the very least, for National Player of the Year.
Of course.
He's going to guide this Auburn team very far. How far? You'll find out soon.
How far, to me, depends on how well the guards play Chad Baker-Mazara and Tahad Pettiford. Pettiford, a freshman, doesn't have this experience. You want to talk about somebody with experience? I believe Baker-Mazara is 25.
And he could potentially get
He could be
another
26.
year of eligibility.
So, yeah, Baker-Mazara has the experience, but
Ridiculous.
Pettiford doesn't have the experience, but he's an absolute lightning rod. He can shoot the 3 from deep anywhere he wants. I think that decides how far they'll go. But for now,
don't sweat it. Auburn over Creighton. All right, moving on. Michigan and Texas A&M. We got a 5-4 in the round of 32. No upsets there. Michigan won the Big Ten. They're hot right now. They're playing really good basketball. Texas A&M, I'm not so sure about. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, Michigan, like I said, coming off the conference championship win. They're hot. They've got the momentum riding for them. And, I mean, Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf are just they're 2 7'1" centers playing together at the same time.
So
that's unstoppable.
That also ties into my point. Texas A&M is one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the nation, near your Johnnies. I'm sorry, I had to add that. They're right down there with
me a
St.
break.
John's. So therefore, in terms to make up for that, as I said before, you have to be an amazing offensive rebounding team.
In the and especially just be amazing in the post. It's gonna be impossible.
Exactly. I don't think that'll work with the 2 7-footers you just mentioned. Like
this
that, they're
Michigan team
insane.
reminds me of the 2020 Seton Hall Pirates when they had 2 guys in the middle that were both over 7
just to
foot.
completely anchor it.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing
Also-
is going on in there.
Exactly. Give us Michigan over Texas A&M.
Wolverines.
All right. We got a 6 and 3 seed going at Ole Miss, Iowa State.
Yeah, Ole Miss, questionable. Because some even say that UNC could beat them. And then you've got a team like Iowa State. which they're really good defensively, but is Ole Miss's offense too much for them to handle? And we had mentioned earlier that Keyshawn Gilbert being out was going to play a factor into Iowa State's run.
This is it.
It didn't matter in the first round, but this is where it matters.
Yeah, it did not matter in the first round, but truthfully,
Against a team like Ole Miss.
I don't think Iowa State has enough firepower offensively with Jones and Lipsy to be able to overcome an Ole Miss offense. Like, they would need Keyshawn Gilbert for this game, and they just don't have him.
Agreed. Give us Ole Miss over Iowa State. All right, Michigan State and Marquette. Now, this is going to be a fun one. I mean, this is two top teams. I think it could be a sneaky upset. I don't know what you guys think.
Shaka Smart versus Tom Izzo, another really fun coaching matchup.
Amazing matchup.
But I don't know that Cam Jones is going to be enough for the all-around dominance of the Michigan State Spartans.
I totally agree with that. Michigan State can get out and run too. I've seen so many highlight reels of just Cohen Carr dunks. Like, they're amazing. They're only 2 points, but in the stadium around them, they're worth millions.
Yeah.
I also like Michigan State here.
All right, give us Michigan State over Marquette. And moving on to the west side of the bracket, we'll see Florida taking on the back-to-back defending champs, the UConn Huskies.
Yeah.
This is going to be a very good basketball
It's
game.
going to be a very physical basketball
Very
game.
physical basketball game, a fun basketball game, and there's a lot on the line for this UConn team.
There's a lot on the line.
You said it yourself, Nathan. This Florida team is one of the most all-around put-together teams in this tournament. And UConn, they've been on fraud watch all year. We almost threw them a bone giving them that first-round game against Oklahoma.
Something else I said in a previous episode.
A bone?
I knew that wouldn't go well.
A bone?
I knew that wouldn't go well.
UConn is one of the best teams in the nation. I don't care if they're seeded 8. They still know how to compete.
What,
and when it matters most, they're going to play.
What number are they ranked in the AP poll, Ryan?
Not ranked. Robbery. Not ranked robbery.
So as I was,
They're going to be fine.
Okay,
Continuing, Nathan.
yeah, as I was continuing, as I've said in the previous shows,
So disrespectful.
I feel like the reason UConn isn't as good as they were before is that they don't have a dominant inside presence like Klingon or I'm sorry, I'm forgetting his name from the prior years.
Sonogo.
I believe you're looking for
Sonogo, yeah,
Adamo
Sonogo.
Sonogo.
I miss Klingon.
Florida
What a
does.
beast.
Florida has offensive interior presence with Alex Condon and also I'm forgetting the other guy's name, but he's also insane. I also like Florida here.
I mean, you know what I said about Dan Hurley last week? I said he's the best coach in the world. There might have been a use of language in there.
Yeah, we can't
but
say
I really think Florida. I lost this debate to you guys, but give us Florida over UConn.
Gators
The season from hell for UConn ends here.
ends here. He did not like that.
I'm so
He is
over
not
you.
a fan.
I'm so done. Colorado State taking on Maryland in the round of 32. The 12-seeded Colorado State. What do we think?
I really like Maryland, all things considered. I just said that Derek Queen has been phenomenal this season. I can't wait to see him at the next level. But as you were saying before we came on air, I think the lights are too bright. And I think they're going to be too bright for the green Derek Queen.
Yeah.
That rhymed.
I
There we go.
completely second that. I was on Colorado State all the way here, and I could sit here and give reasons. I don't have any. You know why? Because it's March, and I think they're going to be the team.
Basketball
is that
in
a
March
weird
doesn't
reason?
make sense.
I think that's a perfect reason, honestly.
I also think a difference maker for Maryland. I mean, with
Austin likes it. Yeah.
Kevin Willard as a head coach, a lot of the time we see him dominate the post, but also he has a crafty guard that can shoot the ball from anywhere. And I just don't think Kevin Willard has that guard this year that can really just pull up and hit a shot from anywhere. Now, I think Clifford for Colorado State, he's a guy, he scores 19 a game. I think he's going to be a factor. But that's why we're taking Colorado State over Maryland. It is
CSU.
March.
It's March. I don't see
A 12 seed's
I
gotta
don't.
go.
I don't have another reason. Like,
Basketball
that's
doesn't make
it.
sense in March. You
I
just kind of
also
have to deal with it.
Don't know why the wrong graphic is. Yeah, we're gonna stand in front.
made
and you
this?
okay, yeah, that's
It
perfect.
was me. It was me who made it.
It was right. That one was not Jack.
All right, then we got Drake taking on Texas Tech. Jack, why do you think Drake can get by this Texas Tech team?
They have proven winners. Maybe not at the Division I level, but if you're winning basketball games, it's going to translate regardless of what level, in my opinion. like I've said, and like I'm always going to say, Division II hoops are legit. But regardless, I think this Drake team can do phenomenal things. I think they can beat this Texas Tech team. Sue me, they could make it to the Elite Eight. But I've heard that you guys don't necessarily agree with me.
I 100% do not agree with you. I think Texas Tech will go all the way. Drake is a bunch of phonies.
Is this Texas Tech biasy?
No, 100% it's not. Drake does not deserve to be this far. Drake will not beat Texas Tech.
You do not win 30 basketball games on accident, regardless of what conference you're playing in, who
That
you
is
have
not
on your
regardless
team.
of what conference
But you
you're
might
playing
win
in. There are
32 by
worse
accident.
conferences.
Give us Texas Tech over Drake.
The Red Raiders will win this game.
Drake will not win this game. The Red Raiders moving on. Enough out of you.
I swear, if Drake was up on that board, some bad things were going to happen.
He's pulling some strings.
Yeah.
All right, we got the
They're
Johnnies
in cahoots.
taking on Calipari and Arkansas. I feel like this is a no-brainer. I think St. John's is one of the best teams in college basketball. They know how to play defense. I think they have a sneaky good offense. I know you disagree. Obviously, they struggle shooting the three-point ball, but I think every single loss they have, they compete with the other team. I'm here for St. John's.
Yeah. I mean, regardless of what Nathan may say about, they can't shoot, this, and that, if there's one coach in all of college basketball right now that can lead a team to an old school style of play, not necessarily shooting very many threes, making too many threes, it's Rick Pitino and the St. John's Red Storm.
And the Johnnies are storming on to the Sweet 16. Let's see it, Austin.
No, you have to. No,
Austin?
Click the picture. You click the picture. No,
No.
it's the one on the top.
No, it's
you
the
click
one on the
on
top.
the top. It's the one SJ.
Johnny's
There you
moving
go.
on. Thank you.
Did you pay him to do that?
No, I did not. I did not pay him to do that.
I think he paid.
There is a lot of sketchiness around this show today. All right,
Where's
moving
James?
on up to the East. Round of 32, we got Duke taking on Baylor.
Yeah, and in the past, I talk a lot on this show. I have talked about Baylor. Duke is amazing, even without Cooper Flagg. Concanipple stepped up during the ACC tournament. He led the team. They still have an experienced guard in Tyrese Proctor. I personally, although I like Baylor, I do really like Baylor. I like them to pull this upset even. I have to be grounded in picking Duke.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I
DJ?
just don't think Baylor has enough to get past Duke.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Duke, what they did without Cooper Flagg, and with the potential return of Flagg. Give us Duke over Baylor.
Second best team in all college basketball.
Another 5-4 matchup, Oregon taking on Arizona.
Yeah, Oregon, I think, will beat Arizona here. And I don't think Arizona will have an answer for Biddle down low. I really don't. Biddle is an absolute stud.
Yeah,
But it's so funny.
Nate Biddle has been phenomenal for this Oregon team, and I think he can lead them past Arizona, even with Caleb Love, who is having a Caleb Love season. He's not having a Caleb Love season. He's bad. He hasn't been great. He's inefficient, and that's why Arizona season ends here.
Give us Oregon over Arizona. I just don't understand what you're on about. Why are you so angry?
I don't like Caleb Love.
Came here with a vengeance.
VCU, Wisconsin. What do we got here, boys?
John Tanji. That's what we've got here. John Tanji is going to have a game of all time against VCU.
I thought you guys liked VCU.
We did like VCU, but when you
I thought you were a VCU guy. What the heck?
Did you just call me a VCU guy?
Yes, I did. You
Whoa.
picked VCU
Whoa.
100%
Whoa.
over BYU.
Whoa. You cannot call me a VCU guy when they are in the same conference as my St. Bonaventure Bonnies.
They're mine too. Relax. Yeah, I also have Wisconsin. John Tanji is amazing. It's completely factual.
And something that we noted while we were making this graphic, Wisconsin is the #1 team in the nation in free throw percentage.
And who leads the nation in fouls? Or close
All right,
to it.
Badgers moving on. That's
VCU.
enough out of both of you. St. Mary's, Alabama. Now, this one could get a little weird. I think so. I know how high you are in Alabama.
I am.
But I am also high on St. Mary's. I think St. Mary's is a very good team. What are you seeing from this?
Whoever plays at their pace will win the game. Because Alabama, the fastest team in the nation, St. Mary's, by far the slowest team in the tournament, bottom 10 in the nation in pace. I just think Alabama will be able to speed up the Gales and play to their tempo, score 90 points, and run them out of the gym.
This is my ultra crazy hot take.
You had like 3 of them.
5 or 6.
Yeah, like.
Alabama runs St. Mary's out of the gym.
Oh, that's not
Okay,
even a
all
hot
right. I
take.
literally
We know
just
that's
said
going to
that.
happen. Crimson Tide are on a
not-
run of destiny. Give us the Crimson
You
Tide.
did not need the solo shot. For
No,
that.
but I mean they're going to run them out of the
Okay.
gym.
All right.
All right.
And then moving on to the Midwest round of 32, Houston and the Zags.
This game.
This
has the
was this the
potential.
most debated game?
I think this is the
This
most
was
debated.
heavily debated.
This game has the potential to be one of the best games in this entire tournament.
Easily.
Yeah.
Like we went through the numbers on this one, and we literally just like sat back in our chairs and was like, "Wow!"
I think
like,
we physically looked at every single
yes,
metric
this
possible.
this game will be insanely close. This will be awesome.
I don't even
like
think-
appreciate what you will be watching.
I don't
AI
even
couldn't
want-
even predict this.
I don't even want to watch. I don't even want to predict this game. I just want to watch it.
You just wanna
and
watch
be,
it.
and be happy with it.
Well, that's our job to predict.
I know, but Houston 19-1 in the Big 12, but Gonzaga just such a good offensive team. They shoot 50% from the field. It's going to be a great matchup. But we are going to go with the higher seed here, and we are going to take Houston over the Zags.
We think the
into
Cougs
Sweet
we think the
16.
Cougs get it done.
One
Yeah.
team's got to win this basketball game, and it's just going to be Houston.
Yeah.
We think it's Houston.
And we got a phone line, Clemson and High Point.
McNeese.
Okay.
you
It's
Stop.
McNeese
Anyway.
over Clemson.
Clemson, High Point.
and
I think
High Point.
Clemson, don't forget, this team went to the Elite Eight last year.
They did.
They were on a run of destiny. I mean, they were a team that everybody doubted. There were so many upset picks over them, and Clemson marched their way into the Elite Eight. I think they're on that same run for destiny. I'm with Clemson all the way over High Point.
I'm protesting again.
Okay, cool. I want to pick the Panthers so unbelievably bad. Like, you have no idea. I want the Panthers to win so bad, but Chase Hunter for Clemson and Ian Shefflin, I think they'll just be able to get it done.
Right. Give us Clemson over High Point. Then we got a fun one. Kentucky and Texas. This should be a good one. I mean, this is Texas, obviously new to the SEC.
This should be a good one. It's an SEC matchup.
Little SEC matchup. There's a lot of SEC teams in the bottom of this bracket. But I really do think Kentucky could just take care of business.
I really do as well. I mentioned with the freshmen are amazing. I just think, again, they'll be able to shoot their way to a victory.
Mark Pope has done so many good things
So
with this
many.
Kentucky
So
team
many.
this year.
Honest.
Right.
It's so underrated.
And
it really
he
is.
hasn't gotten this far to lose in the round of 32.
Yeah. I
Very fair.
wholeheartedly agree with that.
And
You know
then,
Going with the Wildcats?
yeah, we got to go Wildcats.
All right. Let's see it. There we go.
What is he?
He's cheesing.
Can we bring back James?
Yeah, we need James.
Austin is cheesing.
Let's bring back
over there.
James.
We're
All
gonna
right,
have to-
Utah State, Tennessee. Obviously, Utah State is just a great offensive team, but the Tennessee Volunteers are a 2 seed for a reason. I'm big on the Volunteers.
Yeah, I said it before. The Volunteers have one of the best defenses in the country. They are unbelievably defensively. They can switch almost everything. They do their shell drill to perfection. They get to their man. They can rotate. I really just don't see a way the Vols lose this game.
Yeah.
Utah State, good basketball team. I give them their flowers. Not good enough to beat Tennessee.
No,
Volunteers
unfortunately.
on to the Sweet 16. And speaking of the Sweet 16, let's dive into it. Auburn and Michigan in the South. Now, this is going to be a good one.
This is going to be a great one. I will look heavily for Golden and Wolf to honestly double Broom even when he might not have the ball. It's going to be an amazing game. I just feel like I don't think Michigan has enough offensively. I talked about Pettiford and Baker Mazzara earlier. I think they'll be able to get it done.
Yeah, I don't think we need to say too much about this. Auburn over Michigan into the Elite Eight. Ole Miss, Michigan State, also going to be a good one. What do we got here?
I think Michigan State's going to run the floor here with Ole Miss. I just think they have the defensive prowess to do so.
Yeah, so let's keep moving it. Michigan State on the Elite Eight. And then we will see Florida taking on a team of destiny in Colorado State.
A team of destiny for sure. They
Cinderella
have
run.
been. I did not give a reason for the Colorado State win last round. I don't have much of a reason for how Florida beats them other than Florida is just better. They're one of, like we
Right.
said, the most put together teams in the country.
I have Florida going very far. And
Very
to go
far.
very far, they have to beat Colorado State,
Yeah.
which they will.
Florida over Colorado State, and then rounding out the left side of the bracket, Texas Tech St. John's. This was one we debated also. This was a long conversation.
Which makes no sense.
Okay.
This is
No.
this is a Nathan Donnelly conspiracy. This is a Nathan Donnelly agenda.
I can't wait until they play and the Red Raiders win. I
Your
really can't.
Red Raiders are not. Your Red Raiders are not an Elite Eight team.
This is where the three-point shooting comes into play for me. We as a collective chose St. John's, but I'm still not fully sold that Texas Tech will not win this game.
Johnny's storming onto the Elite Eight, and then we got Duke and Oregon on the right side in the East. Obviously, I just feel like this is Duke's game to win.
Oregon doesn't have enough to stop.
They
Duke.
really don't.
They really don't, and it's tricky to tell whether Cooper Flagg will be back for this game. It's unbelievably hard to tell. Ankles are tricky. He looked really, really hurt. He had to get wheeled
Right.
out. By now, this is the second weekend, correct?
Yeah.
He should be back, and he should be close to 100%. If they're still here, give me Duke.
And then Wisconsin and Alabama.
John Tanji, he's had a incredible season. He's helped Wisconsin through so many games, but he can't lead them over Alabama.
He can't. Alabama has way too many weapons. They have one of the best rookies, freshmen, in the SEC, LeBaron Filan, Chris Youngblood, Grant Nelson, Mark Sears. Grant Nelson can take over the game when Mark Sears gets shut down. We saw that in the second Iron Bowl against Auburn. Grant Nelson went absolutely stupid. I'm in love with the Tide. Plain and simple.
All right, Roll Tide, and they're
Can we
rolling
get
into
Roll
the
Tide
Elite
Willie
Eight.
on the show?
Oh, that'd be awesome. Do you know?
This
You
is
know
the
him, don't you?
Nate Donnelly
I
agenda.
think I'm Roll Tide.
All right, and then
I'll give him a
Houston,
call. Okay.
Clemson. This also has the ability to be a top game. Obviously, Clemson went to the Elite Eight last year. I have them moving on and past Houston.
I don't.
Oh my God.
Oh, you think it's going to be Nick Neese?
Nick Neese.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Not enough said. Clemson over Houston, and then rounding it out in the Sweet 16, Kentucky and Tennessee. Also one we debated. Now, something to note: Kentucky and Tennessee have played each other twice this season. Kentucky
won?
has come out on top both times. I am sorry to our executive producer, Sydney Lavieski.
So sorry.
But give
You
us
should-
the
you should-
volunteers
we should have
into
a
the
Sid
Elite Eight.
cam.
Goodbye, Wildcats.
I just
cannot
the Tennessee defense will shut down the hot shooting at Kentucky. I really think they
can't
will.
beat the same team
Sid
three
is
times.
distraught
Sydney
right
is
now.
distraught.
I'm
We-
sorry, exec producer Sid.
We're going to take a break here on Afterthoughts, but more to come. Elite Eight, Final Four, and our national champion pick coming up next here on Afterthoughts. Stay with us.
And our special guest for this week, St. Bonaventure baseball pitcher, James Capilupo. James, how are you doing?
Doing great. Glad to be on here with you guys.
Awesome, awesome.
Thank you.
The first guest of the show. I'm excited.
Of many, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess let's just start off with the big story
Like
here.
probably
the
like
leg kick. Where
more
did it
than
come
10
from?
minutes, I would think,
When did you
right?
start doing it? Like, kind of what's the backstory behind the leg kick?
Yeah, I mean, I would say I've always had kind of a bigger leg kick. Just even growing up, like being a younger guy, I've always kind of had more of a herky-jerky motion. I guess, like, I've always just tried to throw as hard as I can. I've never really been, like, the biggest guy. Now that I'm kind of lifting weights, I'm a little bigger, like, size-wise, but height-wise, still not super big. Wasn't really blessed with a super strong arm, so kind of had to do, like, more of extra things to kind of try to create some more power. And it's been effective so far. I'm also super mobile, so, like, it just kind of comes naturally. It doesn't feel like it's, like, forced. It kind of flows naturally. Even though it might look uncomfortable to a lot of people, it goes pretty naturally. So that's kind of where we're at with that.
Is there like a specific pitcher you watched like growing up or something that had like a leg kick, or like did you watch someone? Did you get it from like a coach or something?
I don't even think so. I think I've just always been just working on velocity and like throwing pens, especially as I was getting older on like the radar gun and stuff. And I would just kind of notice the more, the higher the leg kick went up, the harder the gun read. So I was like, just going to produce as much velocity as possible. So it just kind of kept slowly getting higher and higher. And now it's kind of staying at the same spot.
There you go. Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
Much higher.
Now, for a little bit of a context, the Bonnies played Tennessee in a 3-game series from March 9th through 11th, and you started one of those games. And with the game being on national television, the whole world saw the leg kick.
Right.
I mean, you were on the MLB's official social media pages, John Boy, Pitching Ninja, a bunch of other pages that, if we listed all of them, we'd be here for a while.
Anybody who's big in the world of baseball.
Yeah, right. I mean, just like, what are your general reactions to just being prominently featured in the national spotlight like that?
I thought it was pretty cool. Obviously would have liked a little bit of a different result of the game, but it was a real positive. The game finishes up and you're not feeling the best, but then it's like you open your phone and you just come bombarded with all these messages from these cool places, and it's like it's kind of that moment where you just kind of stop and look around and you're like, this is a journey, and this is a pretty cool moment within the journey, and it's kind of really cool to see where the game can take you. And sometimes you feel like you're very small. You just want to.
All right, the Elite Eight is set. Welcome back to Afterthoughts. Ryan Lombardi, Nathan Donnelly, Jack Haskell, and James.
James is back. James. Yes, James. Can we get you flash to James? Flash to
James, it's great to have you back.
James, trust us. James is back.
I don't know. We're not showing him, but it's okay. All right. Somebody fell asleep, but
no camera time for the boy.
All right. So Elite Eight, Auburn and Michigan State. It's gonna be a barn burner, dude.
It's gonna be a barn.
Another really good coaching matchup: Bruce Pearl and Tom Izzo. But I think Bruce Pearl takes this one from Tom Izzo.
Auburn is on a mission. They are the #1 seed. I mean, we saw last year the top seed win the tournament, and UConn Huskies. I think Auburn is going to the Final Four.
Yeah, the last time I checked, Auburn had 16 Quad 1 wins. I believe it's either 18 or 19 now during the SEC tournament. I'm sorry, I haven't checked, but that's just unreal. Like that's never been done before, and might not ever be done before again. Yeah, give us Auburn.
There he is.
James, there you are, little
James.
cutie. Yeah, James.
All right, and then into the West for the West Championship, Florida and St. John's. I'm not happy about this.
I don't know that I'm happy about it either, Ryan, but we had to cater to Mr. Donnelly somehow.
He had to push his agenda.
I have to. St. John's cannot shoot the basketball. They are absolutely horrible. I will say one thing. They have an amazing presence down low. Zuby Ejiofor is great.
Can we clip this? Nathan giving St. John's credit for being
for when they go to the Final Four.
I think he has an amazing presence down low. Florida has big guys too. They have amazing defensive anchors down low to stop Zuby, and when you stop the down low game, you got to shoot from the outside. Johnnies can't do that. Give us Florida, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did
James,
take
Florida, please.
Yep.
Gators. There you go. Yep.
I hate to see them go.
Can we get rid of him again?
Nope.
No. I hate to
He's
see them go,
staying.
though. All right, into the East. Duke, Alabama, set to be a good one. I mean, if we get this matchup, this would be all-time. I love both teams here.
Yeah, I mean, Duke.
How can you not?
Duke's had a phenomenal season. What they've been able to do with Cooper Flagg, with Con Knipple, with Tyrese Proctor, outstanding. However, recent history has shown that Duke just isn't a deep postseason team.
No, and that is why we have the Tide rolling back into the Final
Roll
Four.
Tide, James. That's right.
Roll
Yes,
Tide.
Roll Tide.
And then
God,
rounding
I like
our
James.
last Elite Eight matchup, we have the Clemson Tigers taking on the Tennessee Volunteers. Another one we debated for a while.
We did, and Tennessee again.
Battle of the Orange.
I'm gonna keep saying it. Tennessee is amazing defensively. They're like that. They can rotate. Any of them can guard anybody. They can guard down low. They can guard Chase Hunter on the outside. I mean, Jack, am I wrong?
You're not wrong, but it would also be really nice.
Oh my
if we
God,
had
don't
a
say
12
McNeese.
seed
Stop.
In the final.
Stop. Just stop talking. We're gonna take your mic away. Auburn and all right. So
James,
Tennessee.
Tennessee,
Sorry,
please.
he
Yeah,
lost
Vols,
my train of
Vols.
thought. The Vols are moving on
orange and white.
to the Final Four.
That should
And this is kind of crazy. I mean, we were talking about this. All SEC teams in the Final Four for our bracket.
Why? I mean,
Why not?
Why not? There were 14 in this tournament. The SEC, this year's SEC, I've said it on this show, is the best conference of all time, any year ever. Like, there should be 4 SEC teams.
No, 100%.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I could choose 3 or 4 different SEC teams that could be in this Final Four.
I agree with that. And the first one will be Florida and Auburn in the Final Four. this could be really good. I mean, Florida beat Auburn 90-81 in the regular season. They have the number 1 offense, number 10 defense. I just don't know.
I don't know either. We debated about this one for a while. But I think it went back to, we've said here, we said in the debate, Florida is just so unbelievably well-rounded and put together. I think they'll be able to take down Auburn.
Yeah. There are holes in Auburn's game, and Florida is going to attack it.
Okay.
All right.
Simple.
Florida, go Gators. And then moving on to the other side of the bracket, Alabama and Tennessee, another SEC matchup in the East region. I just don't know.
One of the best offenses against one of the best defenses. You all know my answer. Jack?
It's all about the Tide.
Go Tide, baby. James, let's see it.
Tide,
see that red.
Move it on. Roll.
Yes.
Whoa.
So, for the national championship, Ryan?
Alabama taking on Florida in the national championship. Something to know. Alabama lost to Florida 82-104 in the conference championship. Now these teams will face again for the first time since the conference championship. Also, Florida beat Alabama in the regular season, 99-94. That is 2 losses. I think we all live by the fact that you cannot beat a team in college basketball 3 times in 1 year. The Tide, your national champions.
James.
This would have been a much better time to use the earlier Pat McAfee quote. So give me Alabama. All of your hearts, even yours, Sidney Labieski.
This was
It's all about the Tide.
This was my favorite show ever. This was awesome.
This was amazing.
I love Alabama. This is great.
I can't wait until 12:15 tomorrow, and our
It's gonna be
bracket is
awesome.
already busted.
I'm sorry, Dalton. I'm skipping history. I mean, that's just the way it is. Like that. I'm sorry.
As John Fancy said, you're not going to work.
Rolled out for
No, I'm not going.
You're not going to work. But no, we always appreciate you guys tuning in to Afterthoughts. Thank you to all our casting crew for helping us put this show together.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yep.
And that will do it here on Afterthoughts. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.
You